Am I a Nicholas Copernicus fanboy for knowing that the sun doesn't revolve around the earth, but rather the earth revolves around the sun? Am I an Aristotle fanboy for knowing that the earth is not flat, but in fact spherical? Am I a Galileo fanboy for knowing that the earth is not the center of the universe, but rather a planet within a solar system? So, am I really an Atwill fanboy for knowing that the Christian faith didn't just organically grow into a religion? Rather, it was in fact created by the Flavian dynasty and completed by Emperor Constantine. The proof is really encoded within the book of Revelation, though Atwill's magnum opus, Caesar's Messiah, focuses on the relationship between the Gospel of Mark and Josephus's War of the Jews. It was actually Emperor Domitian who wanted people to figure this out in the future. He wanted people to decode his book, his great work, his magnum opus, which of course is the book of Revelation. I have a clip from one of my interviews with Joseph Atwill linked below, where he discusses Domitian's true purpose in creating, writing Revelation. So I would just like to read part of Revelation, which shows that the character of Jesus was designed to be a representation of the deified Caesars, as well as the current Caesar at that time, which would have been Emperor Domitian. So let's open up our Bibles. Let's go to chapter 8. Again, book of Revelation, chapter 8, verse 6. Then the seven angels who had the seven trumpets prepared to sound them. The first angel sounded his trumpet, and there came hail and fire mixed with blood, and it was hurled down on the earth. A third of the earth was burned up, a third of the trees were burned up, and all the green grass was burned up. The first angel is the first of the deified Caesars, who, of course, is Julius Caesar. Let's go to verse 8. The second angel sounded his trumpet, and something like a huge mountain, all ablaze, was thrown into the sea. A third of the sea turned into blood. A third of the living creatures in the sea died, and a third of the ships were destroyed. So, this second angel is the second Caesar to be deified, Caesar Augustus, who had his major battles on the sea. Let's go to verse 10. The third angel sounded his trumpet, and a great star, blazing like a torch, fell from the sky on a third of the rivers on the springs of water. The name of the star is Wormwood. A third of the waters turned bitter, and many people died from the waters that had become bitter. So, this third angel was the third to be deified, who is Caesar Claudius. He was poisoned, and wormwood, as well as the bitter waters, are a reference to his poisoning. Let's go to verse 12. The fourth angel sounded his trumpet, and a third of the sun was struck, a third of the moon, a third of the stars, so that a third of them turned dark. A third of the day was without light, and also a third of the night. So this fourth angel was the fourth to be deified, and also the first in the Flavian dynasty, Emperor Vespasian. Let's move on to verse 13. As I watched, I heard an eagle that was flying in midair call out in a loud voice, "Woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, because of the trumpet blasts about to be sounded by the other three angels." Here we have a unique break. Warning people, again, we have whoa, whoa, warning people about the last three angels who will sound their trumpets. Again, these last three angels are directly associated with Christianity and the creation of Christianity. So let's move to chapter 9, verse 1. Here we have the fifth angel. The fifth angel sounded his trumpet, and I saw a star that had fallen from the sky to the earth. The star was given the key to the shaft of the abyss. When he opened the abyss, smoke rose from it like smoke from a gigantic furnace. The sun and sky were darkened by the smoke from the abyss, and out of the smoke locusts came down on the earth and were given power like that of scorpions of the earth. They were told not to harm the grass of the earth or any plant or tree, but only those people who did not have the seal of God on their foreheads. They were not allowed to kill them, but only to torture them for 5 months. And the agony they suffered was like that of the sting of a scorpion when it strikes. So, this fifth angel is clearly Emperor Titus, the fifth deified emperor, who led the Roman army to destroy Jerusalem and the Second Temple. Titus is associated with the abyss because he is the starting point for this creation of the Christian faith. And of course, he is the one who is responsible for killing thousands and thousands of Jews and enslaving those survivors in Jerusalem who were given the mark of the beast, the mark of the seal of God, as it's put here in Revelation. So let's move on to chapter 9, verse 13. The sixth angel sounded his trumpet, and I heard a voice coming from the four horns of the golden altar that is before God. It said to the sixth angel who had the trumpet, "Release the four angels who are bound at the great river Euphrates." The four angels who had been kept ready for this very hour and day and month and year were released to kill a third of mankind. The number of the mounted troops is twice 10,000 times 10,000. I heard their number. So the sixth angel is, of course, Emperor Domitian. Though not deified, he would have been the living Caesar at that time. And of course, the river of Euphrates is a reference to his military expansion into the Parthian Empire. Let's move on to chapter 10, verse 1. Then I saw another mighty angel coming down from heaven. He was robed in a cloud, with a rainbow above his head. His face was like the sun, and his legs were like fiery pillars. He was holding a little scroll which lay open in his hand. He planted his right foot on the sea and his left foot on the land, and he gave a loud shout like the roar of a lion. When he shouted, the voices of the seven thunders spoke. So the last angel to sound his trumpet is, of course, the character Jesus, the only one of the angels who comes directly out of heaven to sound his trumpet. What is interesting is this scroll that the seventh angel carries. Let's go to chapter 10, verse 8. Then the voice that I had heard, again, this is John speaking, then the voice that I had heard from heaven spoke to me once more. Go take the scroll that lies open in the hand of the angel who is standing on the sea and on the land. So I went to the angel and asked him to give me the little scroll. He said to me, "Take it and eat it. It will turn your stomach sour, but in your mouth it will be as sweet as honey." I took the little scroll from the angel's hand and ate it. It tasted as sweet as honey in my mouth, but when I had eaten it, my stomach turned sour. So the scroll, which I assume to be scripture or this new Christian scripture, has a facade of holiness, but deep down inside it is quite ugly and demonic once one understands what it truly is. All of what I've read here, my discovery, understanding that Revelation was indeed created by Domitian, and that Domitian shows in Revelation that Jesus is a representation of the deified Caesars as well as Domitian himself. All this can be found in Joseph Atwill's second book, specifically in the chapter of Revelation in his book titled Shakespeare's Secret Messiah. I have a link to that book in the description box. So going back to the beginning of my video, I came across a post on the internet criticizing people who believe in the Flavian creation of Christianity as being, quote, Atwill fanboys, end quote, which of course I find to be ridiculous. There isn't any belief here, as that word belief is a matter of faith. Rather, there are people out there who know that the Flavians created this religion. And I am, of course, one of them. And perhaps you are one of them too. So thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day.